Simply put, the TAL system is the Verse's largest production supply chain. Located just beyond the Peri line, the Xi'an classified TAL to act as a production system, with each habitable planet designated to fulfill a specific industrial purpose. It is a distinctly Xi'an approach to geoplanning that humanity has slowly begun to embrace, specifically within the Stanton system. TAL offers another unique distinction. It is one of the few Xi'an-controlled systems that openly welcomes humans. As a major hub for industry and trade, many believe the Xi'an encourage humans to do business in TAL to keep them out of other parts of Xi'an space. UEE diplomatic envoy Jameson Wallach was the first known human to visit the TAL system. Following the peace treaty of 2789, the Xi'an government disclosed to the UEE the existence of this system. Prior to this revelation, humans hadn't known it was there. Envoy Wallach's guided tour of the system was considered by many to be a gesture of goodwill, though critics quickly dismissed it as a ploy of the Xi'an. Vistan Bana, one of the most outspoken critics of the treaty, claimed, "The Xi'an are attempting to infiltrate the Empire, not with weapons or with armies, but through credits. The new battlefield will not be our planet, but our economy." Visitors to any planet in the TAL system might need a few minutes for their eyes to adjust. The Xi'an have assigned one specific colour for each planet to incorporate into all its structures. Most first-time human visitors find the view to be strange, spectacular, and overwhelming all at once. After a number of accidents caused by disoriented human pilots, the TAL Landing Zone Authority now discourages people from manually landing their ships. The uniqueness and strict organisation of the planets does not end with their colour coding. Although the actual system is far more complex than a simple summary can provide, merchants should familiarise themselves with each planet's focus before visiting, to avoid the embarrassment of attempting to make a deal in the wrong part of the system. The system is in constant need of raw materials, particularly hydrogen and antimatter, to keep their supply chain cranking at full capacity. Bargain hunters and small-time haulers should make sure to crunch the numbers before spending the time and resources on a trip to TAL. However, keen traders can bring in raw materials to sell and leave with Xi'an-made merchandise. With Xi'an products growing in popularity around the UEE, merchants and haulers should not have too much trouble selling the unique Xi'an goods found throughout the inhabited worlds of TAL. As relations with the Xi'an have warmed, tourism to the TAL system has seen a noticeable uptick. Explorit TAL, a GOS-based travel company, specialises in organising group trips to the TAL system for those hesitant about going unguided. It is perfect for those who want to experience an alien world without having to navigate the foreign customs alone. For those brave enough to do it on their own, here are a few tips. Adventure seekers and explorers frequently visit TAL 2 and TAL 5 in search of the latest Xi'an ship and weapons tech to give them an advantage over others in UEE space. Foodies and fashionistas flock to TAL 3 to sample Xi'an food at its source and buy exotic textiles directly from manufacturers. TAL 4 is recommended only for business visitors, due to the inherent dangers of its large antimatter production facilities. The small planet of TAL 1 sits too close to the system's sun to maintain life. It is pockmarked with craters from probes and mining missions that sought resources to be used by the rest of the system. As far as we know, nothing valuable was ever found, and the Xi'an left TAL 1 to bake eternally in the sun. All the heat radiating off the rocky planet makes it appear to shimmer and glow. Upon visiting TAL 2, famed musician Cindo Guerrero took inspiration from all the buildings being accented in yellow to write his record-breaking, chart-topping hit, Sunkissed. Home to large-scale space fabrications, TAL 2 is a technology hub of the system. The planet's factories pump out some of the most advanced ship parts in the verse. This mixture of industrial fabrication and high-end technology makes TAL 2 the system's busiest planet. The constant hum of machinery and the non-stop flow of workers hustling in and out of yellow buildings has earned TAL 2 the nickname The Hive among human visitors. It is not uncommon to see humans living on TAL 2, though to do so one must have a valid work permit. Human corporations have also begun to seek out more stable opportunities in the system, with MISC having recently established a small branch office here that facilitates their agreement with the Xi'an. It was the central development site of the cutting-edge avionics software used in their Reliant line. Finally, Do not forget to bring your sunglasses to help with the strong glare from the yellow-tinged architecture, but remember, please remove your sunglasses before interacting with the Xi'an. In their culture, it is considered disrespectful to hide one's eyes when speaking. If you are a first-time visitor to the TAL system, begin your visit on TAL 3. Considered the cultural hub of the system, the residents are used to human visitors and are very welcoming of tourists, more so than the typical Xi'an world. In fact, many find the planet to be a perfect metaphor for the Xi'an themselves. With most of the lush landscape covered in neat farms, the cities create a stark contrast to their natural surroundings, with their appointed colour scheme of violet popping brightly upon approach. As a major manufacturer of food for the system, and possibly their entire empire, TAL 3 is a must-stop for Xi'an food enthusiasts. For those who have never tried the cuisine, be prepared for a sensation unlike any other. Some Xi'an dishes use flavourful spices that cause minor muscle spasms in the human mouth. It is definitely not dangerous, but will just as definitely surprise those who are not expecting it. Humans may find the sensation weird and off-putting, but many believe it actually enhances the flavour of the food. Most restaurants will adjust the strength of the spices to the human palate. Do not be afraid to politely inquire about the spice level of the food if the waiter does not bring it up. Just remember to do so before they begin preparing your dish. Meanwhile, the beautiful and fragrant countryside of TAL 3 tempts humans with a natural visual diversity that does not exist within its cities. Many visitors want to explore the countryside, but few actually do. The area is generally considered off-limits to foreigners unless one is given special permission and guided by a Xi'an. Do not forget the brief diplomatic spat that occurred in 2890, when Prime Resident Shinji Shapiro was detained after being found wandering the fields of TAL 3 alone. TAL 3's textile industry draws many of the UEE's top designers to the planet. Patterns and fabrics discovered here quickly find their way to runways on Terra and Earth before creating trends across the entire empire. Certain discerning buyers even schedule travel to TAL 3 while major fashion shows occur in the UEE, so that they will be in place once the hot new trend has been determined, to purchase as much of the in-vogue fabric or pattern as they can. The qualities of Luxi's garment industry also have the fashionable flocking to the planet for custom-made clothes. Some shops have even begun to offer trained tailors that can modify Xi'an fashion to more flatteringly fit the human form. TAL 4 is the least visited habitable planet in the system, and for good reason. It is home to major processing facilities and refineries. Unless there is business to be had here, it is probably best to avoid it. Even though TAL 4's buildings are lined in green, this is a blue-collar planet through and through, with haulers and refinery workers making up a majority of the population. While the upscale fare found on TAL 3 often gets the lion's share of the praise from the culinary world, those who seek a more authentic experience say that it can be found in the working-class food stalls thickly stacked outside of almost all of the planet's numerous processing plants. Almost as ubiquitous as the stalls themselves is the warm, thick fermented drink called yalu that the workers consume before work. A word of warning: TAL 4's atmosphere does contain trace amounts of acid, but thankfully it is not enough to harm buildings, ships, or residents wearing the proper attire. It was the main reason that Xi'an placed the more polluting plants here instead of industries that would draw more traffic. That said, if you find yourself on TAL 4 in the midst of a rainstorm, it is probably best to seek shelter sooner rather than later, and to avoid getting the precipitation on your bare skin. Never say that the Xi'an lack a sense of humour. TAL 5, whose buildings prominently feature a burnt orange colour, houses a high percentage of industrial complexes dedicated to the end-stage processing of arms and weapons. If the planet is approached in just the right light, the sun's rays reflected off the burnt orange almost look like energy weapon blasts. Many humans have made their way to TAL 5 in search of advanced weapons for their personal or ship armament. With the Xi'an still secretive over much of their technology, only certain parts of the planet are open to human visitors. These areas feature a heavy Xi'an military presence, but do not let that dissuade you from stopping in to buy the latest blaster. Very little violence or crime has been reported by travellers. This is partially due to the prevalence of armed security, but also because, in light of the peace treaty, the Xi'an government seems eager to avoid confrontation with humans as much as possible. Deemed uninhabitable upon its discovery, this resource-rich rock was part of the reason the Xi'an based a production system in Tal. Centuries of mining have reportedly stripped Tal 6 of significant amounts of resources, though it may be difficult to check if anything of value is left for yourself, since the Xi'an military keeps a watchful eye over all traffic that nears the planet. This has led people to theorise that there is more going on in Tal 6 than meets the eye. Even in the most open Xi'an system to humans, secrets still abound. Located in the farthest reaches of the Tal system, Tal 7 is a prismatic gas giant that is said to be a reflection of the planets it watches over. This is because its 4 thick coloured bands of rolling clouds match the colours assigned to the inhabited worlds in the system, a wonderful example of the harmony and symmetry in which Xi'an culture places deep value. Tal 7 is a fitting last stop for any visitor's tour of the system.
Let me tell you a story from the book of NordVPN/BoredGamer. There were 3 little pigs who all needed internet access. One used a VPN made of straw, one used a VPN made of wood, and one used NordVPN, which is basically bricks in this analogy. Along came an elite hacker wolf, and smashed up the houses of the first 2 piggly wigglies, but was unable to breach the NordVPN house, which is just much better than straw or wood for protecting you from internet things like wolves and hackers. The moral of this story is get nordvpn.com/boredgamer or click the links below for powerful discounts that might make your friends think you're an internet wizard or something.
Also, that wolf went to prison for 10 years on an unrelated crime. Maybe it was like not liking or subscribing or something? Every month we have a ship giveaway for June 2023. That's going to be for an RSI Constellation Andromeda. This hybrid cargo gunship is perfect for small crews of up to 4. It comes with a P-52 Merlin snub fighter as well, along with lifetime insurance and game access. All you need to start playing Star Citizen. And all you have to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during the month. More details in the video description below. If you would like to further support the channel, please consider pressing the join button under my videos for exclusive membership to the channel, or become a Patreon. I've already got a load of lovely people that do that, and it really goes a long way in allowing us to make daily content. Thank you so much to my channel members and Patreons, but thank you so much for just liking, subscribing, commenting, and watching my videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.